What's up out there, Chainsaw Shack? What's up out there in YouTube land? Brody here from the Chainsaw Shack. Gonna go over a little review here over this 501P. Ignore the 620P getting a base gasket delete right now. We're gonna go over this saw. There's another one similar to this that has a nylon handle, and it'd be the 490, which is the homeowner version of this saw. Both would be a magnesium case. The 490 is a magnesium case, even though it's a homeowner saw. If you buy a homeowner saw in steel or Husqvarna in the 50cc area, you're not going to get a magnesium case saw. You're going to get a plastic clamshell. Okay, so onward to this saw. This is a 501P. This is considered a pro saw. There's an 18-inch bar on this, a 325 chain. This is about 50 cc's, and it's somewhere around 3.5 horsepower, which, you know, you're going to get a lot of people say, well, the 550 MK2 is almost 4 horsepower, it's 4 horsepower or whatever. Yeah, you're right, you're correct, okay? Horsepower is great. We've talked about horsepower and torque when we went over the 620. The 620 makes more torque. In this case, the 501P makes more torque too. There's a lot more than just big horsepower numbers, okay? Those RPMs are great, but when you want to pull a bar, you know what I mean, with some torque behind it and not stall it in a cut, when you get into something hard or difficult, you want something with torque. Echo likes to, Shindala, Echo, both like to go with a little longer stroke motor, which might drop the overall top end RPMs down a couple hundred RPMs and maybe drop a few tenths of horsepower, but you gain that back in torque in the cut as far as holding chain speed through the cut. You know, you want a balance of both, not all horsepower and nothing, basically no ass behind it, okay? This is also the lightest 50cc saw in the class, pro saw right now. It is lighter than the steel, it is lighter than the Husqvarna. So if you want to talk power to weight ratio, then this has it, okay? A lot of people are bashing on this saw, claiming it's a homeowner saw, they don't make pro saws. Echo makes several pro saws. This is a pro saw. This saw, once tuned correctly, and that's the big thing is having them tuned, you know, you will produce a lot more power and the saw will run way better. Okay, the limiters will have to be pulled and tuned either by a reputable dealer that will actually tune it correctly and knows what they're doing, you know, versus one that says they're going to do it or did it and did never do it right. You know, there's a big issue and problem with that nowadays, finding a decent dealer anywhere if you don't know how to tune your own saw. I tune all my own saws. I don't trust a dealer to tune anything I have. I do it myself, okay? This saw, as far as differences goes with the 501 and the 490, is the same thing. It's kind of like comparing the 620 to the 590. The 501 is going to turn a little more RPM. It makes a little more horsepower. It's got a few more pro features that the 490 doesn't have. I mean, this has an unlimited coil. The 490 doesn't, okay? Very light saw, very well built. Filtration does very good on it. I believe this is using centrifugal force too as a pre-cleaner to keep the filter clean too. It has a translucent fuel tank, so you can see your fuel level in the saw as you're running it. Of course, it has chain brake like any saw has. Your oh wow, a little bit of compression. It has a compression release there. The saw has a lot of compression. You know, this can be used to open your oil cap if you can't get it open. This one on this side has a screwdriver slot to open it. I'm not sure why it's different on the other side. So you could open it with this right here. Simple on and off switch instead of everything trying to be complicated into one. You know, maybe you only want to high idle start your saw. You know, you just turn the switch on, pull the choke out, push it back in, you're on high idle. I mean, it's really simple. You know, you flip the choke, high idle's off. It's pretty simple, man. I mean, there's not much that can go wrong with this metal switch versus a lot of the plastic ones they have on saws nowadays. Great saw, great power, great speed, light, handles well. I'd highly recommend the saw, okay? If you have any questions about it, please feel free to drop it in the comments. I'll be glad to answer whatever I can, whatever you ask. I'm trying to think if I've covered everything on this saw. This one is currently running AMSOIL. I'm running AMSOIL. I run Red Armor and everything, but this one's actually being tested right now. We're running 100 to 1 in this saw and have been for several gallons. We just want to see what the outcome is at 100 to 1, you know, under AMSOIL's claims, and we're just gonna see how long it holds up, and if it holds up, how long it does. I don't recommend you do that, and I don't recommend you not do it. You know, my recommendation is always going to be right here, Red Armor, because of the additive package. This has a 2-year fuel stabilizer in it. It has detergents in it that helps keep your saw clean and keep from carboning up, plugging up your spark arrestor and stuff like that. I mean, you can build and carbon up. Husqvarna oil and steel oil are bad about carbon and gumming up saws. So there's a little pointer tip for me. Run the Red Armor. Trust me, it's worth it. Running the 100 to 1, of course, we're not going to have very much carbon deposits with the AMSOIL, but I think the additive package is a little better than in the Red Armor. But like I said, this is a test just to see what 100 to 1 will do in this saw. And so far, it's been actually great. The saw hasn't overheated. It's ran fine. So we'll see where that goes on down the road. But anyway, I'm gone with the Chainsaw Shack. This is Brody. I'm out. But that was a good video. Look at that shit.
Wood eaters, yeah. Razor sharp. Love you, Jeremy. Just kidding. Ain't gonna take your slogan.
Oh yeah, brother.